Hello everyone, this is Ale, welcome to Art Fans. Today we're gonna be doing a really fun and colorful tutorial inspired by one of my favorite artists of all times, Henri Matisse. Matisse was one of the most influential painters of the 20th century. You can easily identify his work by the bright colors he used. That's one of the reasons why I like him so much. His work has this beautiful balance between these powerful and bright colors in contrast with these flowy and organic forms. He was part of the Fauvism movement, which is also easily recognized by the color they used. Anyways, we're not here to talk about his paintings, we're here to talk about his cutouts. Later in his life, Matisse had a major surgery that would change the path of his career. He had to stay in a wheelchair from now on. Despite of this, he didn't stop creating. In fact, he was about to create some of his most iconic pieces, the cutouts. Matisse will have these big pieces of paper that he would cut with these really little scissors. He actually called it painting with scissors. After he cut all the pieces of paper, sometimes he would also use wash, he would ask his assistant to pin all the shapes and also the scrapes of the paper on the wall so he could decide how to arrange them into the composition. So he would have everything on the wall and he will be like, move this here or move this that until he find the perfect balance. Today we'll be doing our own version of the cutouts. For the materials we'll be using pencil, some scissors obviously, and glue, and most important, paper. I always recommend you trying to find your own style and using your creativity and your imagination. And I really believe that choosing a color palette is a way to find your own style. So feel free to choose any paper you want. You can also choose paper that has some drawings on it. It could be something you're recycling, like newspaper or magazine paper, or even like an old drawing that you don't like anymore, but you can like cut something new on it. I recommend the paper being like a little bit thicker than usual, so it's like nice when we cut it, but you can also use bond paper. We also are gonna need a finer, nicer paper like this one. This is watercolor paper. You can use cotton paper or any other type of paper that it's a little bit thicker than the one we're using to cut. This is because this is our final canvas. This is where we're gonna create everything. And we also need cardboard. This is optional actually, and you can find it in your kitchen like an old cereal box or an old cookie box. And this is gonna be used to do like molds, so you can do the same shape over and over again, but this is optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want. So let's start. What I did here was that I made a drawing of a cat on a cardboard piece because I wanted to do a lot of cats. So this is optional, but I really recommend it if you want to do a single form a lot of times. So I made two different cats and then I traced the cat over the piece of paper so I could cut it like several times. Then in the empty spaces, I did other drawings. You can just use your imagination and draw anything you want. I really inspired these ones in Matisse's work. So I did flowers and plants and some other shapes. You can do geometrical shapes, stars, flower, plants, anything you like, anything you want. Remember, it's really important for you to show how creative you are. Then you have to cut everything. As you can see, I got really excited. Another fun thing you can do is create another piece made by different strips of paper. So what you have to do first is draw your first part over a piece of paper and then cut it. Then when you have the cut part, you draw again but using another color as a background, and then you repeat it. You cut it, and when you have the two pieces, you glue them together. And then you can repeat this to add a third color. As you can see, I was doing a flower, so I was playing with the petals, and then I add pink, and then I would add yellow as well. Remember that this is one way that you can show how creative you are and change the things a little bit. You don't have to do them as I'm doing it exactly. You can add your own personal style. Then as you can see, I had all these pieces, so now we're gonna get to action, putting them in our actual canvas. So get together everything you cut and start playing around. What we have to do here is to play around with all the cutouts we have. I recommend having like a lot so you can decide which one work and which ones don't. And you can just play around, play with the shapes, play with the composition. And once you decide on which design you want to do, you can start gluing your pieces of paper to the canvas, which is another piece of paper. Don't be afraid to like find different shapes and put them together, and also don't be afraid if it takes you longer than you thought it was gonna take. The important thing here is to find something that looks really good put in together, something that represents what you wanted to create. I chose to do my art pieces in these small pieces of paper because the cutouts I did were really small. Also because I thought it could be a really beautiful art piece if I frame these small pieces and then put them all together to create a big one. I also decided to use some paper to do greeting cards. So this, you can just fold a piece of paper and create a beautiful design and use it as a greeting card for someone's birthday, special day, or just to remind someone how much you love them. The fun thing about this one is that you can also decor the inside. Here I just put a heart, but you can like put letters or whatever you think could look good. Remember that you can do it as big as you want, as small as you want, it doesn't matter. You can also use some pencil, some color, some paint, whatever you think will give more life to your piece. Here I'm showing my final pieces. I'm really happy with them. I think they look really good together. I think the color palette really helped because in that way they all look like one single piece. They all have something in common and a flow that moves around really well. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the other videos I'll be posting. You can also find me on Instagram, tag me on your art pieces. I really want to see what you did. And if you have any comments, recommendations, or questions, just go to my Instagram and I'll be happy to respond.